Assalamualaikum and good morning to audience. Hi, my name is Sharifah Nuriyatira binti Nyo Muhammad Hanis. As a presenter 1, my metric number 174727 and my partner Nuraida binti Azahari, metric number 173570. And as a presenter 2, today we are going to present about trans fat, and our main focus is on disadvantage of trans fat in human body. Okay, so have you seen this word, trans fat? Are you familiar with it? I'm sure that all of us are familiar with it because we as a human being, we eat food, we consume food. But do we really know that what contains inside the food? I mean, most of food contains trans fat. So, do you care about this? Okay, so first of all, I will provide an outline first. I will introduce you the topic. I will go for introduction, advantage and disadvantage of trans fat. I mean main point 1. And my partner, Nuraida, and she will proceed with main point 2. And lastly, we'll conclude and sum up our presentation. So this is our reference. Okay, this is our reference, Livestrong and myhealth.com. So we are from student Bachelor of Food and Process Engineering. Okay, so what is trans fat? Okay, trans fat is an unsaturated fat that behaves like a saturated fat because of its chemical structure. There are 2 types of trans fat. First, naturally occurring trans fat. So what is naturally occurring trans fat? So there are small amount of naturally occurring trans fat that occurs in meat, beef and dairy products. So here naturally occurring trans fat is much more better than synthetic trans fat. So our second trans fat is artificial, synthetic, industrial manufactured trans fat, which is processed trans fat. Processed again. So here, instead of having this advantage of trans fat, we also have advantages of trans fat. So what is that? So advantages is food that are from trans fat we can keep longer because it has longer shelf life than other foods. And next, it increased stability of food, which manufacturer they would like to produce trans fat food because of its shelf life, so that we can keep longer. So we as a consumer, we also want to buy the food that can keep longer. So now we move on to our next point, that is disadvantages. So trans fat also lower the level of high density lipoprotein, HDL, cholesterol in your blood. So high density lipoprotein is the good cholesterol that helps prevent the LDL from sticking to the wall of your arteries. So our next elaboration, that is HDL can remove cholesterol from atheroma within arteries and transport it back to the liver for excretion or reutilization. Okay, now my partner will proceed to the next point.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Nuraida and I am the presenter 2, and I will continue our next point. Okay, our next point is trans fat also lower the level of high density lipoprotein or HDL. Okay, my name is Nuraida and I am the presenter 2. I will continue our presentation by I will focus more on the main point 2 and also with the conclusion. Okay, the next main point is trans fat raises the level of low density lipoprotein or LDL cholesterol in the blood. Okay, LDL, which means low density lipoprotein, is a type of a bad cholesterol that can clog our arteries. If you eat a lot of trans fats, it can also lower the level of HDL cholesterol, which is known as high density lipoprotein cholesterol. HDL is a type of a good cholesterol that can help to prevent the LDL from sticking to the wall of our arteries. So when this happens, we can reduce the risk of having a disease such as heart attack and many more. Furthermore, in addition of being a high-calorie ingredient, trans fat also causes heart attack disease. Okay, next I will move on to the next supporting detail, which is higher LDL level put you at greater risk for a heart attack from a sudden blood clot in an artery narrowed by atherosclerosis. Higher LDL level put you at greater risk for a heart attack because when the level of HDL is higher in our blood, there is a higher LDL level because there are a lot of cholesterol built up in the wall of arteries. Okay, arteries is a type of our blood vessel which carry blood from our heart to other part of our body. Okay, when there is higher level of LDL in our blood, this can cause the narrowing of our arteries. This is when this happens, this can cause the narrowing of our arteries as there are too much of cholesterol bounded in our arteries. So when this happens, this can lead to a disease which is called atherosclerosis, or much more known as the hardening of our arteries. So when this happens, we are actually at the high risk of having an heart attack. So I'm going to make a conclusion for our presentation. The first one is we recommend you to avoid trans fat food. There are a lot of trans fat food in our daily life, such as fried foods like donuts, baking good foods like cake, pastries, frozen pizza, and many more. So when we try to avoid this type of food, we can reduce the risk of having the heart attack disease or the disease that we call atherosclerosis before, that I mentioned before. And then we can always try to check the food level as to minimize our intake of trans fat by checking their nutritional level at the behind of the pack of the food. So by doing this, you can avoid yourself of having the risk of heart attack, and this can also help you to lead to a healthy lifestyle. So thank you.